got us a team one together with Daylock. I messed up your name last. Oh, I like this Crystal Warrior thing. You know what that reminds me of? You kind of look like that one champion from, I forget his name. Mine is, you don't have a shield though. That's the only difference. Got to be Grifka on the team. Is it going to be first? Potentially. Koopa on that Outlaw rogue. Interesting. He just hit him with a Gonna be Droog on the Shaman as well as Sajiro. It looks like Grifka is gonna be first up versus Crazy Shaman. A bit of a rematch between the two. Last time these two fought each other, Crazy walked in, popped off, and kind of left Grifka in the dirt. And it's going to be seen if Grifka can maybe do this again. Getting a shot onto the big Earth Elemental. It's going to be a cheap shot onto Crazy Shaman. Goes in for the secret technique. Crazy just has to stay in this for hold his line for a little bit longer here. Grifka does try to see if he can go for a secret technique. And Crazy, I think, try to knock him on that secret. Going to be a big clock of shadows immediately for Grifka. Crazy Shaman got himself plenty of defense in case he needs to recover. Does get himself plenty of recovery. Knockback onto Grifka. The rogue has a smoke bomb. Trying to see if he can give him some cover. Going to be Earthquake to follow. Is doing quite a bit of damage. Shadow Step back in. Frost Shock to follow. Could potentially be a Shadow Meld situation. Does Shadow Meld already early on. It's going to be a Fire Elemental. Blasted off a big meteor onto Grifka. Just continue to blast the guy back to back. Hit a shot to follow. Does have a knockback. Going to be Shadow Step yet again. Does he have another secret technique or is he still behind? Does he have a secret technique again? Cheap shot is a wall. Comes out for Crazy. Grifka may need to go for a vanish right now. Unless maybe he does go for the vanish, trying to see if he can get aggressive. Get a shot, trying to disrupt Crazy Shaman, gouge to follow, trying to make sure he doesn't get any healing, but he does still have a trinket to follow though, so he might be okay. Wait, actually, hold on a second, maybe Crazy takes him out. Vanish yet again, Earthquake to follow, knock it away, into a freeze right after, does have a trinket for the freeze, it's going to be a knockback on secret technique. Wait, Crazy looking for the recovery. Grifka does not have any outs anymore. Is this where Crazy maybe takes him out? Earthquake around the corner, wants to keep the rogue in there as best as possible. Earthquake on either side, you can't leave it whatsoever. It is actually doing quite a bit of solid periodic damage too. Gouge to follow, Grifka needs a kidney shot yet again. Crazy does have a trinket for this one in case he ever needs to. Grifka does not have an out whatsoever. Frost Shock to follow before he can go for a kidney shot. Is this where maybe you take him out? Lava Burst does knock down for a second until the Lava Burst to follow into Earth Shock, into a knockback. Oh, Crazy does end up outplaying Grifka entirely. I felt like it was Grifka playing the big setup game the entire time, but Crazy Shaman got a better setup than ever into a grounding totem for Droog in case that a Lava Burst was going to pop off big time with a bunch of procs. So Shaman is going to go for last of his own versus Droog, trying to see if he can break that tether with a knockback, but he's going to get knocked into the room into Goso to make sure he doesn't get rooted too quickly. Frost Shocks are going to keep him down. Earthquakes as well as Earth Shocks. Not Earthquakes. Earth Shocks, Lava Bursts, and everything is going to be quite bad for the guy. It's going to go for a bit of a burrow. Burrow down for Droog. Trying to see if he can chase after him. It's just two Shamans chasing against each other. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen Shamans play burrow into each other like that before. Just chasing. It's not like anything happened. It's just unusual to see. Gonna be Crazy. Popping over the big defenses as well. Got himself a little bit of like Guardian Spirit, so any damage, any healing he does is gonna end up killing himself as well. Droog getting knocked back as he got himself a full Ascendance, and as long as Crazy can control this Ascendance, he'll be in a fantastic spot. Placing down all of the totems, taking down all of these other totems by Droog as well. Is it going to be Lightning Lasso with a knockback to follow? Crazy Shaman potentially going for an interrupt into Alien Blast. Looks like Droog did not have the Maelstrom in order to get himself a full Elemental Blast, which is an interesting. Lightning Lasso for Crazy is going to be able to chip away at the health of the Enhancement Shaman with the freezes to follow. It's going to be Droog trying to see if he can reconnect. Frost Shock, Earth Shocks are going to be back up in action with the Primordial getting set up. Mad damage, big crits with Sky Fury. Does end up checking out Sky Fury stun into Crazy in between with all that commotion. It's going to go for the double back stun as well as Droog trying to see if he can get himself a bit more recovery. Crazy does end up removing the Flame Shock off of him, but it's going to go for a bit of a knockup for Droog as well, which isn't ideal for Crazy, but being able to go for the Darker and Racial does give him a little bit extra secondary stats, or primary stats rather, that maybe you could use it for damage. Into a Lightning Lasso does recover a little bit of health, has one case he needs to. Big Bloodless available for Droog. Does he take him out right here? Try to get some procs. That's going to be big. Ascendance of proc for Crazy. It does end up just absolutely overpowering him with just the power of lava. Koopa going to be up next with an interrupt immediately as an Outlaw. Trying to see if he can get himself a setup. Dance available. Trying to see if he can get himself as much ambush pressure versus Crazy. Does go in for the wall. It's going to be juked out, so maybe potentially could just go for a bunch of chaos onto Koopa. Could be maybe a vanish situation. Vanish situation is up into a Shadow Step, yet another ambush. Trying to see if he can apply as much pressure onto Crazy with a Killing Spree to follow. Does that again and lasted off. Cloak of Shadows for that Hex does not have an interrupt anymore. So Crazy trying to see if he can maybe get himself a bit of recovery. Koopa maybe a little bit behind right now though. Get the shot onto Crazy. Forcing out a trinket. It's going to be immediate blind as he's looking for a bit of a reset behind the pillar. But he is burning down a little bit behind there with an Earthquake also chipping away at him. Frost Shock to follow. Ice Fury right after. I think Crazy is the first time we've seen him pop off a proper Ice Fury. So now he's got himself the most amount of instant cast potential, especially if he can go for those frost shocks together with lava bursts. He most likely has a talent where frost shocks kind of like destabilize the enemy target, where next lava burst does what, 20% more damage, unless it's reduced in PvP. Crazy Shaman trying to see if he can get around Koopa, knock back, Shadow Step again, trying to see if he can lock him down with those stuns, able to go for double back cheap shots while Dance is active, but he's still playing it very, very defensively. The Outlaw Rogue trying to see if he can find himself an out in this situation, but playing around the pillar isn't helping him whatsoever, because you got freezes, you got knocks, you got earthquakes behind the pillar, and then you got a lasso to catch it last second. I don't think there's nothing you can do. I think just a lightning bolt right after as the Sky Fury proc appears with the tier set. Well done. With Dalaran gonna be up next, trying to see if he can just slam down past Crazy, doing quite a bit of damage. Crazy going in for a hex, trying to see if he can force a trick out of the guy. Does get a trick out of him. Knockbacks is all he has. While the Hand of Freedom is up on Deli, definitely needs to remove it as best as possible. Deli does end up playing a playstyle where Judgments do remove magic debuffs off of him, which actually could be great for Crazy Shaman. As long as you keep a Flame Shock on the guy, that's a free knockout that you can apply onto Deli at all times. So Deli can just be running at you, sprinting at you, but then get knocked up into the air, and there's just nothing you can do. Being able to remove the roots, though, that's going to be fantastic. But the knock-up, not going to be great, I think. Big lay on hands. Actually, potentially, maybe Crazy could make something happen off of this. Knock back on a Deli, trying to see if he can catch back up to the guy, removing all these dots of himself. Looks like there's a DR with a knock-up at some point into a lasso. I think he just has him here. What is this? Shaman, oh, ho, ho. No way. Wait, so Jura is the last one left. This man is absolutely dominating the Dragonflight arenas. Ice Fury, while the mid is caught out in the open, does gonna go for a reflect into yet another freeze on that charge. So Jiro needs to find a way to catch up. Does get the bleeds on Crazy. He has himself the Dark Iron Racial in case he needs to. Using a normal trinket, does put the Dark Iron Racial on a little bit of a DR, trying to go for as much damage as well as knockback, so to say, Jiro to keep him at bay. But once he gets set up with the big bleeds, I was thinking he was gonna Dark Iron Racial all those bleeds, and I think ideally that's what he wants to do. But once he trinket, it puts the other on DR. Gonna be yet another reflect. Lava burst flying in. Sejiro, does he have an answer for any of these? Does have something defensive, but there's nothing he can do. Focus it out. Sky Fury has to purchase that over the Shaman. Does get out of that lasso with a trinket into Shockwave to follow. Burrow right after. Sejiro can take a lot of damage here. Does take a pretty big hit with a Burrow damage. And it's going to be a Fear to follow into Crazy. Sejiro desperately needs recovery. He needs an Earth Elemental to attack, or a Fire Ally, or he needs to just find himself an opportunity to get a couple Bloodthirsts as well as an impending victory off of Crazy Shaman, just so the man can get himself a little bit of a reset. Does go in for the totem. He's literally trying to see if he can snipe these totems if they're near him at this point. If there's a totem nearby, honestly, better target than his Crazy Shaman at this point. There's going to be more Frost Shock, Earth Shocks to follow. Should probably get rooted at some point. Going to be a Lava Burst set up yet again into yet another Sky Fury. Does himself a big go. Big Lava Burst flying in. Frost Shock potentially. Does he have him? Shockwave. Oh, killed him with a knockback. No way. The man had so little health. He killed him with a knockback at that point. Oh my god, dude. Yo, Elemental looking kind of good right now. And the tier set too. The Sky Fury every 50 seconds. You don't even need to talent into one. That's actually so good. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. All right, let's get us another one going, yeah?